y'all, welcome to Confetti Charm. I am Jalen, and on this channel you'll see a little bit about fashion, fitness, lifestyle, and some things on the in-between. So we are at the gym. Y'all already know what it is. So we're gonna do a little bit of glutes and legs today. I'm trying to think if I want to do glutes and hamstrings or glutes and quads. I guess I'll figure it out when I get in there, or honestly might do all three. So that might be the game plan. We might do it all. We might do all three, which is actually a really good idea. So just grab your gloves. I usually use a band to warm up my glutes, especially since I've been sitting down on my behind all day. So I use a band to kind of do some like warm-ups and just to kind of get my glutes like prepared to do the workout, and for them to know like, hey, we're targeting you today, so let's go ahead and get into it. So yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna do. So I'm gonna show you the few things that I do to warm up my glutes, so just in case that's something you might want to incorporate inside of your workout. But yeah, so grab your gloves and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so you guys know every single time that we get inside of the gym, we make sure that we are definitely warming up and stretching out everything. And so for instance, like today is lower body day, so I am making sure that I'm like stretching out my quads and kind of loosening up with this little roller here, the foam roller, and then eventually I'm going to go ahead and turn around and also do it for my hamstrings and my glutes, since those are the muscles that we'll be targeting today. And I just want to make sure that nothing is going to be like locking up on me. I don't pull anything, because it could be very easy to pull things, especially like if you don't know form well and all those different things. But just to kind of like exit out any possible injuries, and any time away from the gym is not good time. So I just want to make sure that I am paying attention and focusing on those muscles and stretching those muscles that I'll be using today. So make sure every single time, you guys, every single time, do not miss it. Make sure you are stretching out and making sure that your body is prepared to do whatever the workout it is that you're going to be doing. Okay, so here I'm stretching out my hips, and I do this every single time I'm doing leg day, glute day, it doesn't matter, because stretching out your hips allows you to have a lot more flexibility. If you want to learn how to do a split, stretching out your hips is going to be one of the main things that you need to do. Between your hamstrings and your hips is going to be a very big deal. So stretch out your hips. Here I am also doing the same thing. I'm stretching out my hips and my hamstrings. So here, me leaning forward is for hips, and me leaning back is for my hamstrings. And I'm just making sure again that I'm loosening up everything and nothing is tight. Notice that I'm making sure that I'm doing both legs. Like, make sure you guys are not skipping legs. Make sure you do both legs. Make sure you're doing both hips, so everything is like nice and flexible. And here I'm just doing the same thing for my hips. I'm making sure that it is pretty stretched out. My inner thighs were super tight from last week, so I'm making sure that even those are kind of like loosened up from the abductor machine. So just make sure you are stretching absolutely everything on those legs. So here I'm just kind of making sure that I am really loose, am I really able to move, and making sure that nothing is popping out of place, because you know we're getting wiser in age, so want to make sure that everything is in place and everything is kind of warmed up. And so that's mostly what this is particularly doing. Now let's go ahead and get into the actual warm-up of the glutes. So here I just have a band around my legs, and I am mimicking the abducting machine. So here I'm just making sure that I squeeze my glutes every single time that I open my legs. So that's the first one. The second one is I keep that band around my legs, and I go ahead and do the hip thrust. And as I'm doing the hip thrust, I'm also opening my legs. So I'm like getting the abduction and the hip thrust all at the same time to make sure that my glutes are really, really warmed up. So that's the second exercise. And then for the third one, I just kind of do like this side step, and these hurt so good. They hurt so good, y'all. And they really help with just like warming up those glutes. As you see, I'm kind of like in a nice squatted position and just moving side to side and just really making sure that my glutes are like squeezed every time I step over. So this helps a lot too. So now we're moving on to the actual workout. So here I am going to be doing single leg hip thrust. I have about a 25-pound, I think 25 or 30-pound dumbbell here. And I'm just really focusing on squeezing my glutes as I come up. And here I'm isolating because sometimes, like when you're doing both legs, you end up using one leg more than the other. So isolating kind of helps make sure that you are building both muscles at the same time equally, and everything is kind of equal. So it kind of really helps, like with you just making sure that your body is proportionate. One glute is not smaller than the other, okay? That's the main point of this. Now, right after I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and do both legs, do a full-on hip thrust here with both legs. I do, I think about 10 reps for both single leg and 10 hip thrusts for this particular segment. And then I'm gonna hold for 10 seconds. And this just, boy, eats me up every single time. Every single time. Regardless of how light the weight is, it eats you up every single time, but they're so good. So here we're gonna do some Bulgarian split squats. And as you see, I kind of position myself. I put my knee down and I make sure that everything is like at a 90-degree angle, like the leg that is out, that I'm actually working out is a 90-degree angle. And I just really pull up and really make sure that I'm targeting my glutes. This particular exercise can work out both quads and glutes, but the more forward that I'm leaning, as if I'm going like up an elevator, it kind of really targets the glutes. So make sure that you're really just squeezing those glutes and take your time. You don't have to rush this. I know they hurt bad, but you know, they work out very well. So just keep that in mind. So I decided to go ahead and superset my Bulgarian split squats with some front squats here. My feet are shoulder width apart. They're actually pretty close together because I'm really trying to target my quads. And so one exercise works out quads, the other exercise works out glutes, and it kind of just really works well together. So this is a really good superset. So now we're moving on to some glute focused RDLs. And here I have 40-pound dumbbells, and I'm just really targeting my glutes by pulling. As I'm coming up, I'm really pulling from my glutes here, and these work so well. The higher in weight you go, the more you'll feel them. So I would definitely suggest go pretty heavy with these work so well. It's almost as if my butt is like trying to touch a wall, so just kind of keep that motion in mind, like I'm going down and my butt is like trying to touch a wall. So that's kind of how you anchor yourself with these. And then I decided to go ahead and superset that with just some regular deadlifts here. So I'm trying to keep my legs as straight as possible. And these are like straight leg deadlifts. So here I'm just bending my knees a little bit as I go down to feel that stretch in my hamstrings. So once you feel that stretch in your hamstrings, you know you are working out the right muscle. So just kind of go down slowly and then come back up, go down slowly, feel that stretch and come back up. And these work very, very well. And now for the last piece. So I decided to go ahead and just do the leg press machine because I can target both quads, glutes, hamstrings, and my calves. So here my feet are kind of closer together in the middle to just really target my quads. So I do about 10 reps of these. And then eventually I'm going to spread my legs here so that I can focus on actually kind of like the whole leg. So but I kind of really pull from my hamstrings and my glutes for this one. So the wider my feet are apart, the more that I'm able to use my actual glutes and my hamstrings. As you see here, I'm tired, child, I'm tired. It was tough, my legs were tired, but I got it back together and we finished it out. So we were trying to keep it cute, and I did 10 reps of these. By 6, child, I'm ready to like rack the weight. And then I kind of took a little break here because my legs feel dead, y'all. My legs was feeling dead. And then I put my feet at the bottom here to go ahead and finish out with calf raises. I did about 25 calf raises. And that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you guys need some help with anything. But until next time, my love.